Good day, my fellow Jamaicans. Today we are diving into one of the boldest, most controversial, and most fascinating questions facing Jamaica's financial future. Could Bitcoin actually replace the Jamaican dollar in the next 10 to 20 years? Now, before you start laughing and say, Monitor JA channel gone mad, hear me out, because the forces shaping Jamaica's economy are changing much faster than most Jamaicans even realize. And when you combine technology, inflation, digital payments, government debt, and global crypto adoption, then you start to see a picture where Bitcoin is not just some investment, it's a potential competitor to traditional money. So sit tight, because this story will touch every single Jamaican, from the man selling his soup or pan chicken on Reddy's Road to the biggest investor sitting in his cherry garden home watching his forex trades. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. It will really help the community grow. Plus, you're going to get notified when we release more videos like this in the future. Now, let's start from the beginning. Because to understand why Bitcoin could replace the Jamaican dollar, you have to understand one thing. Money only has value when people agree it has value. The Jamaican dollar didn't always exist. Before independence, Jamaicans used to use the British pound. And before that, the plantation owners were trading with the Spanish dollar. Money evolved based on the needs of the society using it. And in the last 20 years, and hear me out, Jamaicans have been quietly shifting towards digital money without even realizing it. Mobile banking exploded. And let me give you an example. NCB's Links became one of the fastest growing digital wallets in the Caribbean. And more Jamaicans now use online banking than at any other point in history. Every time you tap your phone to pay for your gas, or you send money with a banking app, you're already living in a cashless society without asking for permission. Bitcoin was created for one main purpose: to provide a global form of money that no government can print, devalue, or control. And Jamaicans, who have dealt with decades of inflation, devaluation, and rising prices, they are more open to alternatives than many people admit. $1 in 1990 could buy far more than $1 today. Milk, bread, gas, chicken, electricity, everything rise while wages struggle to keep up. When Jamaicans see that the earning power of their money is falling every year, and then they look online and they see that Bitcoin is a currency with a fixed supply of 21 million units that no politician or central bank can change, trust me, they start paying attention. But why would Bitcoin compete with the Jamaican dollar within the next 10 to 20 years? Because it solves three problems Jamaicans complain about every single day: slow banking, high fees, and a weak currency. Ask any Jamaican overseas trying to send home $100. Between transfer fees, bank delays, and conversion losses, the family in Jamaica might only receive the equivalent of $85 if they're lucky. Meanwhile, Bitcoin allows someone to send money from New York to Mandeville in minutes without begging a bank for any permission. And as long as you have a smartphone, you are banked. You don't need a paycheck, minimum balance, or a letter from your workplace. In a country where tens of thousands of Jamaicans remain unbanked, Bitcoin looks very attractive. Now imagine Jamaica 10 to 20 years from now. The youth of that future grew up with smartphones, crypto exchanges, digital wallets, and online side hustles. To them, cash will seem outdated as a VHS tape. If most Jamaicans stop using cash and start saving, investing, and sending money using digital tools, then whichever digital money works best becomes the new standard. And Bitcoin, with its global reputation and fixed supply, is one of the strongest candidates. Another factor that could push Jamaica towards Bitcoin is tourism. Jamaica earns more than 50% of its foreign exchange from tourism, and tourists are usually crypto-friendly. Some hotels already accept Bitcoin. Now imagine Negril, Montego Bay, and Ocho Rios in 2035. Tourists show up with digital wallets instead of cash. Jamaican businesses start accepting crypto because it's faster, safer, and it doesn't require waiting 3 days for a bank to clear a credit card transaction. Once Jamaican businesses adopt Bitcoin for tourism, locals will quickly follow. That's exactly what happened in countries like El Salvador. Tourism pushed early Bitcoin adoption. Speaking of El Salvador, Jamaica pays very close attention to them. They became the first country in the world to make Bitcoin legal tender. At first the world laughed. Then El Salvador's economy began to stabilize. Investment increased and the tourism grew by double digits. And now other countries across Latin America and Africa are quietly studying the model. Jamaica is often cautious but not foolish. If El Salvador's Bitcoin experience continues to succeed, Jamaica will eventually consider whether it makes sense for us too. No Jamaican politician wants to wake up one morning and realize we got left behind because we dismissed new technology. But let's get deeper, because there are economic reasons Jamaica might want to move towards Bitcoin. The Jamaican dollar loses between 4 and 10% of its value every single year due to inflation, depending on the period, of course. This means that if you save 100,000 Jamaican dollars today, the real purchasing power might only be $60,000 10 years from now. Bitcoin supply cannot change, meaning the more people adopt it, the more valuable it tends to become. For Jamaicans tired of watching their money shrink every year, this alone is a major motivation. And then there's the issue of trust. Jamaican banks, for all their improvements, still frustrate people. Long lines, high fees, account freezes, slow transactions, customer service that require the patience of a saint. Bitcoin removes all of that. There's no bank manager to tell you, come back tomorrow. It's just you, your phone, and your ability to manage your own money. Many Jamaicans don't trust bank, but they trust their phones. That shift in confidence is powerful. Another big factor is government debt. Jamaica has one of the highest debt to GDP ratio in the Caribbean, even after decades of improvement. Governments all over the world, including Jamaica, have a temptation to quietly inflate their currency because inflation makes the old debt easier to pay off. Bitcoin cannot be inflated. The more Jamaica tries to control inflation, the more attractive Bitcoin looks as an escape hatch for people who want their savings protected from government spending. And if Jamaicans use Bitcoin privately, even if the government does not officially adopt it, it becomes a shadow economy running right alongside the Jamaican dollar. Now, here's something that most people don't think about as yet. Technology changes how money moves, and Jamaica is moving faster than many nations. The Bank of Jamaica has already created Jamdex, Jamaica's official digital currency. If Jamdex succeed and become widely used, something interesting happens. Jamaicans get used to digital money. And once you get used to digital money, switching to Bitcoin is not a big leap. Jamdex is like training wheels. Once people realize they can pay taxi fares, supermarket bills, your school fees, light bills, and property taxes using digital money, the door is wide open for competition. If Bitcoin becomes easier, faster, or more rewarding, people will jump naturally. Now, 10 to 20 years is a long time. Think of how Jamaica has transformed in the last 20 years. In 2005, smartphones barely existed. Digicel was still young. Lime was cable and wireless. TikTok wasn't a thought. Netflix mailed DVDs. Many Jamaicans didn't even know what Wi-Fi was. Fast forward to today. Jamaicans use digital wallets, online groceries, digital taxi apps, and many use mobile banking daily. So imagine how much further we'll be by 2045. By then, crypto could be fully integrated into the banking apps, government systems, and business platforms. And when the infrastructure is ready, cash simply becomes optional. And once cash becomes optional, traditional currency becomes fragile. That's when Bitcoin becomes a real competitor. But let's be realistic. There are also challenges. The Jamaican government will not give up control of its currency easily. And the Bank of Jamaica will always push for Jamlex and the Jamaican dollar. Bitcoin's price volatility also scares some people. Not everybody understands how wallets and private keys work, and scammers constantly use crypto to trick unsuspecting Jamaicans. Now, these concerns are valid, and in the short term, it will slow down Bitcoin's progress. But here's the key question. Will these challenges still matter 20 years from now? If you look at history, every major technology, cars, internet, smartphones, social media, it started with fear and resistance. But eventually, society adapts. And something else is happening. Younger Jamaicans trust global technology more than local institutions. They follow American, Canadian, and international financial influencers. They watch YouTube channels teaching crypto trading. They use Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, and Cash App. They earn US dollar online. They buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other stable coins. And if a generation grows up invested in Bitcoin, by the time they are middle age, Bitcoin becomes a part of Jamaica's economic DNA. Now, picture Jamaica in the year 2040. A young Jamaican is buying a home. The real estate developer accepts Jamaican dollars, US dollars, or Bitcoin. Another Jamaican is paying for university. The school lets them pay with Bitcoin. Tourists in Negril are paying for jet ski rentals using Bitcoin. A Jamaican farmer in St. Elizabeth is receiving payment from a buyer in Canada instantly using Bitcoin. And a Jamaican software developer in Portmore is earning Bitcoin from clients overseas. At that point, whether or not Bitcoin is Jamaica's official currency becomes irrelevant. If enough people use it, it is already a currency. Bitcoin won't replace the Jamaican dollar because of a government announcement. If it ever replaces the dollar, it will be because millions of Jamaicans simply choose to use it. Slowly, quietly, and naturally. Just like how Jamaicans became digital without ever stopping to think about it. The future of money in Jamaica will be digital. The only question is, will it remain government-controlled digital money? Or will Jamaicans eventually prefer borderless, decentralized digital money? So, could Bitcoin replace the Jamaican dollar in 10 to 20 years? Yes, absolutely possible. Will it? That depends on how fast Jamaicans evolve, how quickly crypto education spread, how the government manages the economy, how technology advances, and how the younger generations choose to save and spend their money. But one thing is certain, Jamaica's financial future will look nothing like the past. And whether we like it or not, Bitcoin is already here. It's already in our banks, our tourist businesses, our investment portfolios, our online payments, and our daily conversations. The shift has begun. The only question left is how far it will go. Catch you guys in the next video.